This program is brought to you by Emory University.
My name is Delgado. I am at the Faculty of Philosophy in Canary Island in the University of La Laguna in Spain. Currently, I am a PhD student in philosophy at the University of La Laguna too, and my career started with the bachelor's degree in nursing studies in the same university in 2002. And after that, while I was working as nurse in the Canary University Hospital, which is in Tenerife too, and where I still work, I obtained the bachelor's degree in philosophy in 2008. And after that time, I realized that my main interest was bioethics field, so I decided to continue my studies in this field. And in 2009, I received my master's degree in bioethics. And after that, in 2012, I received my master's degree in theoretical and practical philosophy too. And now I am teaching public health in nursing faculty in the University of La Laguna too. And my current research in my PhD is about the concept of vulnerability in bioethics field and the interconnections between this concept and autonomy and relational autonomy concept too. As I said, I am a philosopher, not a lawyer, but I started being interested in feminist theory for a long time in the particular context of bioethics studies or bioethics field. It is very important, the feminist approach, and from my view, some of the main aspects in regard to feminist approach in bioethics are to question the centrality of a liberal individualism idea and to develop the concept of autonomy in regard to relational approaches and relational aspects, and to try to balance the relation between the claim for differences in populations and the defense of some kind of equality for all of them. And also feminist bioethics describe alternative ways of thinking about how to resolve ethical problems and how to focus not only exclusively on reason and rational way, and to try to find compatibility between different principles in regard to the practical situations of every day, and to develop an ethics of care and responsibility for others too. So feminism is really important in bioethics. And while I was working in these issues, I find some readings and some books that talk about Martha Feynman's project, and I start to be really interested in this approach. So now I feel really involved in this approach too. My main objective in my research is to develop the concept of vulnerability in bioethics field. So it's really important, the approach of vulnerability theory in my research. At the beginning of my research, I start analyzing how has been the development of this concept in bioethics field particularly. And I understand that this concept has been developed mainly in regard to research ethics and biomedical research ethics. So it has been developed in regard to vulnerable groups mainly, and this focus can lead a lack of more deeper research or more deeper development in other ways to the concept. So I think that it's really interesting to introduce a more deeper reflection on vulnerability in other ways in bioethics field. So the concept of vulnerability in vulnerability theory is very important in my research. And then I try to combine this focus with another approaches as relational autonomy concept that in my view can be linked to this idea of vulnerability, because I understand that bioethics needs a kind of vulnerability concept to be more development. And I think that it's possible to combine two approaches, development of autonomy concept and vulnerability too, in my research. My research has been really influenced by this theory, the vulnerability theory, in the sense that there are many theories on vulnerability, mainly in philosophy or in legal theory in other ways, in a broader sense, like these theories. So Feynman approach is really interesting to move this research to bioethics field, in my view. And I really think that it is useful to apply the vulnerability concepts and the vulnerability approach to the bioethics field in the particular different spaces that works on bioethics. So I consider the particularities that this field has many problems to deal with, and also the complement this view with other perspectives is interesting. Yeah. I hope that my research within the field of bioethics will contribute to develop a critical current within bioethics which can reflect on their own principles and claims, and I hope to that with this a broader reflection can be applied and carry out approaches closer to the real situations that individuals can experience and try to respond to their needs. And I hope to contribute to develop a broader knowledge on bioethics field in regard to ethics on vulnerability. And of course, I think that these aspects have a great importance in regard to policies, in healthcare systems, and also to responsibilities of the institutions in healthcare systems. And I really think that this research in bioethics, especially when you are trying to develop philosophical concepts or philosophical aspects, has an important impact in the way how people think and act, and in regard to their values too. And this is a big social change in my view. And also from my view, it's important to develop new currents of thought, more criticals in regard to bioethics too. And these approaches would have some impact in the studies of bioethics, I think. What I expect from my time as a visiting scholar at Emory in the Vulnerability and Human Condition Initiative is to learn more about how can the vulnerability theory be applied in different fields and different issues. In my case, is in bioethics field, and I'm trying to focus in the particular problems that arise from the bioethical issues and studies. And I also hope to assist to seminars and classes and conferences or things like that to try to learn more about specific applications of vulnerability theory in these different fields. And I also hope to exchange opinions with other scholars that are working in the same issue or in similar issues in regard to vulnerability concept and theory, and to discuss my project to these people, especially to Professor Feynman and to the other scholars too. And I think that one of the most important things that you can do when you are researching is to hear the people, hear their opinion, and exchange different points of view about what are you doing, and it's the best way to try to improve your research, in my view.